invisibility, stretchiness, human fireball, and the ability to rock. There's my weekly excuse for showing off my poor visual effects abilities, also meaning that this video is going to take 4 times as long to put together, but that's okay because that's just the type of extra effort that I like to put into these MovieFacts episodes. Because this is one fantastic episode about 5 fantastic facts you might not know about the Fantastic Four. Number 1, did you know that the Fantastic Four kicked off the true Marvel, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby style comic books as we know today? Jack Kirby being the incredible comic book artist that drew almost everybody, and Stan Lee being the incredible storyteller that wrote the stories of almost everybody early on in the comic book world. Nobody is exactly sure who actually came up with the Fantastic Four. Jack Kirby says, "I actually came up with it in a writer's meeting." Stan Lee is like, "Well, here's the proof that I came up with it because I wrote it down and everything." It's a bit confusing, and we may not ever know the actual truth about the story behind the Fantastic Four, because sadly, Jack Kirby passed away in 1994. Today, Kirby gets a tremendous amount of recognition for his contribution to comic books, comic book characters, and his amazing artistic ability to show action in a comic book in a way that had never been done before. Unfortunately, a lot of that recognition comes post-mortem. But what we do know, and now you're going to know, because this is MovieFacts after all, is that Fantastic Four came out of an era where superheroes were extremely rare, and monster stories and family-friendly stories were the norm in comic books. Fantastic Four was a response to DC's new superhero team called the Justice League of America, and the Fantastic Four changed comic books forever. Which brings me to number 2. That's right, before Marvel's Avengers and Spider-Mans and asbestos ladies, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were asked by their publisher Martin Goodman to put together a team of superheroes. Like in the comics, not actually like them getting together and being vigilantes. However, closer than you'd think, because Stan Lee did want to focus on making characters that were far more relatable than previous superheroes like the Bruce Waynes and Clark Kents of days gone by. However, life could have been very different for Stan Lee and those who enjoy comic books today, because Stan Lee was at a point where he was so tired of the heavy regulations that had been put on comic books that he was about to quit. According to Stan Lee, he brought this up to his wife, who told him, if you're gonna quit anyway, then you should try to write one comic that is the way that you would want. So Stan Lee did just that. Lee set out to make a comic book that was real and relatable and put aside all of the alter egos and fake cities, and he took it and set it in New York, a city where he was from and he knew very well, made the characters multi-dimensional, where they actually focused on the character rather than the secret identity. This struck a chord with comic book readers. It was a tremendous success, and Stan Lee stuck around to invent all of these characters, ushering in a new era of comic books and eventually leading to the wobulous world of Marvel that we know today. Number 3. As fantastic as the Fantastic Four are, apparently the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, meaning that the individuals really aren't as important as the fact that there are 4 of them. There was a time in the comic books whenever all 4 of the Fantastic Four were thought to be dead, and so they needed to replace them for some reason, because I guess they're like a band. And who did they replace them with? Well, none other than the Incredible Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man. Holy crap, I would pay so much money to see that movie. Let's see, I think I would pick, this is a tough one. Obviously, I'd go with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and of course Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, because that'll be hilarious. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, because he's tall and a little more hip. This is a tough one. Edward Norton's Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's actual Incredible Hulk. That is a movie that has to be made. Though, spoiler alert, in the comic books, the Fantastic Four turned out not to be dead. Hey, we're getting the old band back together, guys. Sorry, you're out of here. Number Fantastic Four. The movie rights to the Fantastic Four have gone on a pretty wild journey, to say the least. Many people believe that Fox Studios owns the rights to the Fantastic Four, but it was actually bought by Constantine Films, a German film company, in 1986, and they do continue to hold the rights to the films today. I did a lot of research to try to figure out how exactly they hold the rights and what involvement they have in the movies. There's nothing on Wikipedia about it, and then on their website they do promote the Fantastic Four and say that they are making it, but Also, Fox and Marvel Studios are involved somehow. I couldn't find it. I tried for you guys. I really tried. I'm sure the studios have it all figured out. See, back in the 80s, Marvel didn't have a full movie production studio. They sold off the movie rights to several of their characters. Part of the contract with these movie rights is that they continue to make movies, or else the rights revert back to Marvel. So this is why we continue to get bad Fantastic Four movies that cannot be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, the people who actually understand their own characters. Number 5. As you can tell from the previous fact, putting Fantastic Four in the hands of other mediums has not always bode well for the Fantastic Four. In fact, it has never bode well for the Fantastic Four, actually, when you consider this upcoming movie, the previous two. Then there's that now infamous debacle back in 1992 that was never intended to be released, but was, and we saw it, and it was even parodied in Arrested Development. But wait, there's more! Did you know that the Thing of Fantastic Four fame once met the Flintstones? Also, Bill Murray, yes, Bill Murray, played the Human Torch in a short-lived radio drama in the 1970s. Look, I don't want to see Bill Murray in any sort of superhero world-saving quartet unless it is the Ghostbusters. Now that is a classic franchise that nobody will ever root. What, they're rebooting it too? Aw, come on. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Movie Facts. If you liked what you see here, then you might also like what you see over at my other channel, youtube.com/SayGoodnightKevin. I just hit over 9,000 subscribers. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel that you're watching right now, which is youtube.com/MovieFacts, to keep up with all the latest movie facts that you might want to know, or might not want to know. I don't know what you want to know, but I assume if you're watching this, you want to know something, and now you do. And knowing's half the battle. Until next time, I'm Kevin, and those are the facts.